The rookies have hit the league by storm early in this season, led by none other than the #1 pick in the draft, Paolo Banchero, but Indiana's Bennedict Mathurin was doing Michael Jordan numbers off the bench to start the year, and he's managed to stay pretty hot. Guys like Keegan Murray, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, Jabari Smith, and even a Shaedon Sharpe have made a real impact to start the year as well. But first, getting into what Paolo has done, because boy has it been special. Not many rookies can say that they were the best player on the floor in their first game in the association, but that is something Paolo could legitimately say as he put on a historical performance against Detroit, becoming the first rookie to have 25, 5, and 5 in their debut since LeBron, and scoring the most points in a #1 pick's debut since Allen Iverson in '96. In the process, he ended Corey Joseph's career for all intents and purposes, and prior to Sunday night against Dallas, he was racking up the 20-pointers with ease I've never seen a rookie do, especially at 19 years old. With all that said, he's been on a pretty remarkable run to start his career in terms of production, even as he hasn't shot the ball particularly well from the perimeter. But the thing that stood out most to me so far is his scoring versatility, and most importantly, his ability to get to the line at an elite level. He's currently top 10 in free throw attempts, up there with the Lukas, Giannis, Ja, Embiid, Hardens, and while it's definitely a product of his sheer size, there's also some credit that can be given to Orlando in the ways that they're using him. We mentioned some of this in the Wendell Carter video, but they've been pretty creative, whether it's him attacking off mid-post ISOs, the 4-5 pick and rolls, and just other initiating opportunities. Whenever he's allowed to get a bit of an advantage first and then use his size, it makes it nearly impossible to get a great contest, and that's where some of his success has come. I do think he could still settle from the perimeter less, but when you can do special things like this out there, it's hard to really be mad at it, especially this early in his career, and also when he's getting to the line like we talked about so consistently and still getting to certain spots and making plays like he does. I think he's going to get hot from out there at some point this year and put up an easy 40 ball or two. Now, his defense has very much been a mixed bag to me, to be expected. There have been some great moments on the perimeter. He's had a couple big time blocks as well, but some of his positioning, the closeout, some of the gambles and fouls that he's had have put his team in a bind, but it's extremely early for a rookie that's often guarded and navigated screens and done different things on defense that he hasn't done in the past. Aside from being a little more efficient from the floor, Paolo has been absolutely exceptional and looking like a borderline all-star already to start his career. And as much as I loved him coming in, I didn't think it would look like this quickly.
Backs in, spins, fires at the Ross in the corner. He shoots over the top.
Anytime your name is mentioned with Michael Jordan's, you're doing something right, and a whole lot has been going right for the Pacers' Bennedict Mathurin. He became the 5th player since 1980 to score at least 72 points in his first 3 games. That list includes Isaiah Thomas, Dominique Wilkins, Jerry Stackhouse, and Michael Jordan. He's shooting the ball at a pretty ridiculous rate for any player, let alone a rookie, and though he cooled down just a bit there in the middle, the return was imminent and he absolutely showed out against the Nets. Oh, and to add to it, he's done all of this off the bench. He's really performed well enough to earn starters minutes, especially on this Pacers squad that's headed for the heights of the lottery, and he has played 30 plus a few times. I just hope and think at some point we'll get to see him play more and more with Halliburton, which is the reason you would want to start him, and I think that would be good for just everyone involved. But getting into his game, the thing that's caught my eye most is how he's finishing at the bucket, getting to the line, and also how Indiana has simplified his game, figuring out how to accentuate his strengths and keep him from doing a ton of things that he's not great at, like relying on his handle to create a bunch of opportunities. A couple quick and easy examples of that. Here's just some simple Chicago. You take that DHO and get to the cup. You basically have one read to make and it's a straight line drive, which he does very well as he hangs in the air and finishes. Coming off of this curl, the Pacers put him in another situation where it's quick, he's got an advantage already, and he just goes. Those things, plus the amazing way that he's attacked closeouts and finished the gimme buckets, have played a huge part in his early season bucket getting. He's also shooting over 43% from 3 on 6 attempts, which is a fantastic start. And as a guy who came in as one of the best shooters in his draft class, he's making it clear that's where he will stay. He's also brought a clear edge and passion to the court every minute he's out there. He was talking all night in his big game against the Pistons, and as kind of unnecessary as it was, he showed he was willing to take that ball from his former teammate in Dalen Terry. And to me, that type of stuff goes a long way in establishing something for a rebuilding team. It just kind of keeps that fire there on a night-to-night basis. Like Paolo and for a lot of other rookies, defense has been pretty spotty for him. He's still got to get much better at navigating screens both on and off the ball. That's going to be a huge point of emphasis for him going forward. But it's rookie, so we will mostly turn a blind eye to it until later on in the season if he's he's going to keep playing anywhere near this level offensively. Keegan Murray was in the COVID protocols at the end of the preseason into the regular season, so that kind of threw off his NBA start, but he's been super impressive in his first action. At this point, I think every three that he takes is going in, and he's proven to be a super reliable contributor for the Kings through just limited regular season and preseason action for the team. Right now, he's around 40% from three on nearly 8 attempts, which puts him with the league's best, and to start a career making 3 threes a night is elite shooter type of stuff. Obviously, it's an extremely small sample size, but everything that we've seen from him dating back to Summer League suggests that this isn't slowing down. But you match that with being 6'8" and his natural ability to cut, move without the ball, find a couple offensive boards, a loose ball here and there, and match that with what he's shown defensively, especially versatility wise, and you've got someone who's right there in the mix for Rookie of the Year and just a super solid player. Down the line, we can talk about what he's shown as a creator and maybe how realistic some things are to develop in the future, but what he does right now is perfect and far exceeds any reasonable expectation you could have from a rookie, even being older. He's playing his game, he's complementing Fox and Sabonis really well, and brings some stability to their lineups in the future other team that you really like to see. Now, we all knew Jaden Ivey was an unbelievable athlete in college, but you still always want to see it in the league, and his first step has continued to be incredible. I've been wildly impressed by just how easy he's been able to get paint touches in the half court and turn on the Jets in transition against the world's best, and there aren't too many reasons not to believe he'll be a high-level creator if he can continue refining his game. I've also been impressed with some of his playmaking off of that attention and pressure he puts on defenses. It's your classic drive and kick, reactionary type of playmaking. But he's found guys a ton of opportunities, and it's been great to immediately see the difference in Big Ten and NBA play with the spacing and play finishers for him. And it's got him up to around 4 assists in each game. Some of his decision making is very reminiscent of a rookie guard with his type of tools. You know, he'll dribble into traffic a bit too much, sometimes get caught in the air trying to make something happen, but you'd rather that 100% of the time than someone being passive or hesitant. Defensively, he's very much a rookie guard, though he still has some big time plays, but other than those things, I don't think you could really have too many complaints about what he's shown so far. He and Cade still have some things to work out on the court. I think it'll be interesting to see the type of balance that they find on and off the ball to both complement and keep each other involved, but even then they've still shown quite a bit, and I'm still a huge fan of that pairing, even though it hasn't fully manifested itself in the same game yet.
Guard by Beal, a deep 3 opportunity.
It's been a pretty rough start for Jabari Smith, though he still had that excellent game against Utah and some nice moments throughout the rest of them. He's shooting just under 33% from the field, and I feel like some of his confidence has wavered a bit, but hopefully we'll see him catch a rhythm here soon. He still has some of the same concerns finishing at the bucket, being a driver, especially with how he plays on the perimeter. You know, the mid-range shot hasn't been working either, so it's all resulted in some pretty rough splits so far. However, it's far too early to write him off, especially given we already knew a lot of these things coming in. And hopefully we'll see Houston start to put him in better positions to get easy looks. Some of it's on coaching, some of it's on the teammates he's surrounded by, but you can't say it's been the best environment so far. I do love his defensive abilities. He's been super versatile. He's shown he can be high impact there, defending wings and providing some help side rim protection, even banging with bigs, playing center, which I think will come more as he develops physically. But yeah, I think you take the wait and see approach with him, because if he's simply making some shots that we know he can, we have a much different feeling about his start to the season.
I like my candy and my sweet.
Prior to leaving the game early against the Warriors due to injury, Jalen Duren had been super impressive. Duren is both the youngest player in the league and somehow also has a case for being the most physically imposing guy. His debut against Orlando was nearly perfect if he could hit a free throw, but he had 14 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks in just 22 minutes of game time, and made some simply head-turning plays like this dunk on Chuma Okeke. He's looking like he'll be one of the best rebounders in the league for the next decade at least. He's also impressed as a rim protector, even continuing to smack shots off the glass just like he has in the past, and again, just showing off his athleticism at that size. There's not much else really to say about Duren so far. He's been very productive as a rookie off the bench, especially as the youngest one in the league, and I look forward to watching him grow with the rest of this young Pistons group. This is how I see the rookie ladder about 2 weeks in. It's mostly the same from the preseason when we had Paolo was leading the race by a solid margin for me right now, but Ben Mathurin is right there. Keegan Murray and Jaden Ivey have been about equally impressive to me so far, and then that 5th spot is up in the air. It's kind of honestly whoever you've been most impressed by or able to watch most. I'm keeping Jabari in there because I think that Utah game was that good, and also I think he bounces back in the next week. Jalen Duren is there, Shaedon Sharpe and Jeremy Sohan are all kind of in that conversation as well. Now let's quickly take a trip around the league and get to some of the other rookies who have caught my eye for different reasons. Shaedon Sharpe has lived above the rim so far in his young career. With Dame out, he got the start against Houston, and it was an impressive night for him, going 7 for 12 from the field and going showtime on multiple occasions, head at the rim like it's nothing. And the biggest takeaway with him is just how comfortable he's looked for someone who skipped real basketball from the prep level to the NBA. And while it hasn't been without faults, it's far ahead of schedule in my opinion. We'll see what happens with his rotation minutes when GP2 comes back, but for now I'm enjoying watching Shaedon just be that unbelievable athlete that can knock down open looks, gets involved in some early actions, and at least puts forth the effort defensively. One of the few rookies to land in a starting lineup, Jeremy Sohan had a rough start in his first few contests, especially offensively, but since those Minnesota matchups, he's been excellent. He's just bringing consistent energy, he's moving the ball well, and hopefully he'll get that 3-ball to a somewhat respectable level in the future, because you can just see how dangerous it would make him and his teams in regards to closeouts and spacing. And if you're a Spurs fan, you should be pretty excited about your probable starting 4 for the next 7-ish years, especially for what he can do defensively.
Threading them already on the inside, made a couple. Look at that.
Unfortunately, Jalen Williams got socked in the face 6 minutes into his career, so we haven't really been able to see him play as much as the other guys. But boy, was he great in his return this weekend, as he had 13 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, and a block in 27 minutes to get the win over Dallas. He's instant impact, and he's likely going to be in the rookie first team convos, especially if OKC keeps getting hit with the injury bug like they have. We could spend all day talking a little bit more detailed about all of these guys, but we'll just give some shout outs to several others. I think Christian Brown has made a very good all-rookie case early in the year. The Nuggets can't guard a parked car, especially on the road to start, and he's brought a lot of energy and ability on that end for them, and he's knocking down shots and finishing plays as well. You've got Jake LaRavia in Memphis off to a decent start, especially against Houston. He was a bit overextended in the next couple games, matched up with some stars like KD and Luka. Didn't really get a ton of opportunities offensively, but he was excellent against Sacramento. He's been out sick, but you want to see him back out there. I think Tari Eason has continued being a man on the glass, really bringing some impressive energy and defensive ability. I think he's also deserving of some more time. AJ Griffin has started to crack the rotation a little more lately. I love what I've seen from him as a shooter. The defense is going to be huge for him, both long term and in the short term, to earn some more minutes, but he's shown he can be a valuable piece for them. Walker Kessler has been impressive in the games that he's played, primarily as a shot blocker and then just finishing off plays. Dyson Daniels isn't likely going to crack the real rotation in New Orleans unless we get some big, sustained injuries, but he looked really good in that win over Dallas where they were down several players, especially defensively. And then guys like Ochai Agbaji, Malachi Branham have made their debuts. Christian Koloko and Andrew Nembhard have been solid from the start, and you gotta wish a speedy recovery to Blake Wesley, going down with an MCL injury after looking really promising in his first minutes. And everyone we didn't get to today we'll hopefully get to down the line in some way. I'm not sure this class will be as interesting as last year's. I feel like that top 4 is just really going to dominate the conversation the entire year, but we will see. I appreciate y'all for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and comment down below who you have been impressed by in this class and who you think will separate themselves from the pack over the next several weeks. As always, I'm Keandre, this is Hoop and Elect. Till next time, I'm out.
They don't really love you like they say they do. Yeah. For your spirit and your energy, they using you. Got my own friends.